In fact, my father, he worked at the Citizens Theatre in the Gorbals of Glasgow, but it was, you know, a lot of the Gorbals is gone now, but the Citizens Theatre was right in the middle of the Gorbals. And he said that when they were doing the classics, when they were doing Shakespeare, he said they would come in from the shipyards in their boiler suits and their dungarees, and they'd take off the dungarees and roll them up, put them under the seat, and they would sit there straight out of the factory or the shipyard. And he said if anyone dried during a performance, the prompt would come from the audience before the prompt corner.
Really? They knew
These were welders and riveters and labourers that knew Shakespeare backwards.
Well, how do you explain that? I mean,
that lust for education.
They had it,
for the working class to be educated, because that gives you freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. They knew that. Yeah.
And that was at that period. It was. He always found it extraordinary.
Yeah.
In fact, there was an old actor who was quite, I suppose in those days you'd call him quite fey, called John Grieve. He was just a wee bit limp-wristed.
So to say.
And he was a lovely man. But anyway, he was doing Twelfth Night at the Citizens, and he came out one night after the curtain had dropped, and he came out and he was waiting for his tram to take him back to his digs, and it was cold and dark and it was noisy and there was a lot of people around, and he said this terrifying man with scars on his face, a huge guy, came up, sort of stood beside him and looked at him with this glowering look, and John was saying, "Oh dear God, when's his tram going to come?" And the guy was staring at him, and John's getting more and more nervous. The guy hadn't said anything, he was just looking at him. And John was saying, "Oh, please come, please let me get away from here." And the guy leaned over into his face and said, "Your Malvolio was terrific."
But did the idea of acting appeal to you at that time as well?
Well, I quickly found out that it was absolutely useless at everything else.
But you knew you were good at that, yeah?
No, I wasn't any good at that.
Oh, well,
if you've seen my early films, you would know.
Oh, right, okay. I've seen some of your later ones.
I did with the late Frank Finlay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It was a film called Assault. I have never seen a more wooden performance. I mean, a wooden Indian outside a tobacco shop had more animation than I had.
Really, yeah.
I was in wonder that anyone ever employed me again.
You were, a bit different to your outing in the Pyramid texts then, I assume.
That was something special. I saw that quite recently. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Oh God! Wow. I was so moved by that.
Oh, thank you.
It was an extraordinary performance.
Thank you so much.
But that scene when the camera's right and tight on your face, they're talking about your son holding his hand in the hospital. Yeah. I mean, it was so real. God knows how you experienced it. I mean, did it take you some time to get back together again afterwards?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. We all come to being actors in all sorts of different ways and things, but mine was just purely time and then I think for me I got to a stage where I could start to really access the truth.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's finding that truth.
Yeah.
Be it whatever.
Yeah.
But finding that in yourself.
Yeah.
And that comes out that's when people go, "God, was that real?"
That was real,
yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you see it and you can see the actors trying for the emotion or putting it on or something. Yeah. That scene you did was, oh my God, so powerful.
Yeah. I think it's the art of not acting.
It is, absolutely.
Don't try to act.
Yeah, exactly that.
Are you one of these actors who just knows how to act now? Or do you enjoy sitting around with fellow actors discussing Meisner and the method, technique?
No,
really.
No, I just got on with it, and I sort of I don't know, but it's very instinctive for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Had you been to acting school?
No.
Because I'm sure I heard you say that once, or saw it in an interview where you said you hadn't. And then I saw something recently said you'd been to the Glasgow's
Conservatoire.
something like that, and the Bristol Old Vic.
I know.
Really?
Isn't Wikipedia wonderful?
I think it was. Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah.
But I won't deny myself anything. If they want to say that,
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah.
fine.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Yes. When I was at the Vic, yes.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So the bit about the MB is a load of rubbish as well.
Oh no, I got the MB.
Oh right. Yeah. I was going to ask you about. I mean, you were in Troy, obviously, with Peter O'Toole. Did you ever shift a few with him, or had he given up by then?
Yeah, he'd sort of given up because he was getting on. You know, although he never admitted it. I think his date of birth sort of was fairly fluid.
Right. Yeah.
But he was a good friend of my dad's because they used to drink together.
Oh, your dad did, right?
And it was funny because Peter, the makeup guy, had said to Peter, "Oh, James's father was an actor." Oh. Anyway, Peter said to me, we're walking to the set one day, and he said, we were out in Mexico, and he said, "I hate this bloody place." He said, "American television is so bloody awful." He said, "So what I do is," he said, "I get my son to send me videotapes of British programs that he likes."
Yeah.
And he said, so I was watching a program last night, he said, Dad's Army. I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "You'll never guess who was guesting on that episode." And I said, "Who was that?" He said, "It was your dad." He said, and I cried and cried and cried because my dad had passed away with him.
Right.
So that was lovely.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah. You never got into you were in you were in George and Mildred, I believe.
I was, yes. Which was very scary. It was the first time I'd been in front of a live audience, which I've always tried to avoid, you know, because they can get to you if they really want to.
But you're quite a thick-skinned old trooper, aren't you? I would have thought you'd be able to handle it, because you've not been on stage much, have you?
No, I've only done one stage play.
What was that?
It was called Shades with Pauline Collins. It was like a three-hander at the Albury Theatre. Oh, we did a tour, Brighton, Bath, Woking, somewhere else, and then into the Albury, and it was directed by Simon Callow.
Really, right. Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience. Simon was just the most delightful, caring director. He was fantastic. Yeah. But I went to see them. My agent phoned me up and said, Simon Callow and Pauline Collins want to meet you at the stage play. I said, I don't do stage. She said, "Yes, I know." "Do you want to go out?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go along." I haven't met Simon Callow or Pauline. So I went along and had a chat with them. And then I was on my way home, my agent phoned and said, "They'd love you to do it." I said, "Well, could you just phone them and say, thank you very much, but not for me." She said, "Sure, yeah, fine." So she phoned back and she said, "Simon wants to talk to you." I thought, "Jeez." I said, "Well, could you ask him to phone me when I get home about 5 o'clock?" "Yes, I'll do that." The phone rings 2 minutes later, it's Simon. "Ah, gee." And he said, "Come and have tea on Sunday." "Oh, really?" I said, "Because I'm not going to do it." And he said, "No, but come for tea anyway." So my wife and I went up to Camden Town where Simon lived. And I said to Annie, my wife, I said, "You have a look around the shops." I said, "I'll be about half an hour. I'll just have a quick cup of tea and then tell him."
You were just being polite.
Cheerio,
Decision had been made,
So I come out 2 hours later from Simon's house and said I'd start rehearsals on Monday. he wouldn't hear of me saying no. But it was a great experience. I loved it, and loved working with Pauline. It was great.
Yeah, I bet she's fun.
She's a lovely lady.
Yeah. Because there was talk, I think, about you taking the pyramid texts onto the stage.
There was.
You weren't totally averse to, were you?
You know what? I spoke to Jeff Thompson, the writer, and the proposed director, and I thought, I cannot do that every night.
No, I was going to ask you about
I can't plumb those depths.
It would have had to have been a one-off, I think.
Yes. Yeah. What you saw was what you saw, and I couldn't recreate it on screen. Let alone, I think it would have detracted from the piece.
Yeah. That wasn't chain or anything we saw on the camera.
That was one take. Yeah.
Yeah.
94 minutes. Yeah. So, I'm glad I didn't. Yeah. Personally, the whole James Bond genre has no appeal to me at all.
Well, you turned down for a role, but there's a bitterness in it.
There is bitterness.
You applied for the post.
I should have been him.
Yeah, that's it. We got to the heart of the matter.
Yeah. No, I've never been asked to play anything in a play.
Right. So, by the way, I haven't mentioned Game of Thrones yet.
Oh, right, yeah.
None of us have seen it, you see.
No, neither have I.
Oh,
So it's
really?
fine.
Well, I've seen bits of it. I've seen bits where you're out in Iceland. Is it Iceland you film that or something?
Yes.
So that's pretty.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been interesting.
Yeah, we did. First season was Northern Ireland, and then 2 seasons in Iceland. Yeah.
Wow. So you're out there for periods. It wasn't just a
No, not long.
couple of days, right?
Not long.
Did you get what, 4 hours light? Or something?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it was. You had to be sort of quick, but Iceland's a fascinating place. It's yeah. I mean, it's otherworldly. You know, it's perfect for Beyond the Wall. You know, this sort of this hinterland with all these dreadful monsters and things in it. You know, yeah. But extraordinarily successful series. I mean,
God, yeah.
it's great to be been, all but briefly associated with the most successful television show in history. Just amazing. Can't remember.
You were in Emma once, weren't you?
Oh dear God!
Oh, that was a good reaction.
It's one of those moments when you
It was
think,
shortly after Braveheart, wasn't
what am I doing here?
it? Really?
Well, it was shortly after when Braveheart came out. My agent said the director called Doug McGrath is doing this film, Emma. I went, Emma, is that Jane Austen? Yeah. Oh, really? So I went to see Doug, lovely guy. Co-wrote Bullets Over Broadway with Woody Allen. But a really nice chap. All he for the 20 minutes I met him, all he wanted to know was about Braveheart. He didn't tell me anything about Emma. He didn't ask me anything apart from what was it like on Braveheart. So I left. I thought that was odd.
That was your audition.
And then they said, "Oh, would you like to play Mr. whatever his name was, Emma's father?" And I remember I get down there, and I opened my Winnebago door, and I'm wearing these ridiculous tights, and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I looked over, and Ewan McGregor was standing at his door like that, in his tights, looking at me.
Oh.
I thought, oh God, what's this? But Jane Austen is not my
Not your cup of tea.
not my comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, what lured you to Big Brother, by the way?
Money.
Oh, it was that?
Yes, and a shed load of money.
Right.
And
really?
again, I thought, everyone said, no, you can't do that. No, don't do that. And I thought, well, really? Why not? Why not? I think it's an interesting sort of, I think the concept was fascinating. Because when they started it off, I think it was Endemol or whoever it was in Holland, and it was much more uncelebrity based, and it was about people
originally
together.
Was,
yeah. And I found that concept really fascinating.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I didn't even tell my agent.
Does he know? Did he find out? She found out.
She did.
Well, she got her
on the morning. On the morning, I was going.
Right.
And she was saying, "Get out that car! Don't you dare go in there! Get out the car! Don't go in!" And I said, "Olivia, I'm going in. I'm going in." And she was so.
What was her reasoning though?
Well, she's just, as everyone did. They thought, "This will destroy your career. It'll destroy it." Extraordinary. You know, just last year was the busiest year I've ever had.
Wow.
You know, I don't know if it was because of that, but it didn't do any harm at all. It was funny when I came out of Big Brother in Addleston. They've got a big Tesco's. So I was in Tesco's just after I came out, after I'd sort of recovered from it, after about a week. So I went into Tesco's. Everyone. Selfie. So I went back and I said to my wife, I'm going to elbow Tesco's. I said, can't go there. No. I said, I'm going to go and do my shopping at Marks and Spencer's in Brooklands. So I went to Brooklands because they're classier people. Exactly the same bloody thing. So all these people that say, "Big Brother, I never watch it." Yes, you do.
You didn't try Waitrose though. You'd have probably been okay in there.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. You sound like a big Waitrose fan. As I am. As I am.
Yeah. Would you do the jungle one though? Where you
would that go? Yeah, absolutely.
You'd eat the God knows what they have to put in their mouth.
Bugs and all sorts. It's extraordinary.
I've got no problem with that. I tell you,
well, you can get a deep fried Mars bar down you.
when I went to New Zealand, I was we'd rehearsed up in Auckland in the North Island for about a week or 10 days, and then we flew down to the South Island to this, at that time, a little town called Queenstown. I hear now it's a great big tourist resort, but in those days, this is a long time ago, 40 years ago, it was just a little one-horse town with this one hotel in it, and we were staying there before the whole wagon train of film cameras and all that sort of stuff went on the road filming. Anyway, it was my first. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I went into went down to the bar, and I was on my own. And there was 3 guys standing at the bar. One was big guy, about 6'4", and then 2 other guys, and all wearing these duster coats, you know, for horse riding. And they've got the flat hats on, beards. You know those pale blue psychotic eyes? I think they all have them. And I thought, well, obviously they've got to be with the film crew, you know, like there's nobody else in the place. So I said, "Hi guys, how you doing?" Nothing. Didn't say anything. They were just drinking their beers. Oh, fair enough. So I had a couple of drams and a beer. I'm standing there, and a couple more drams. And then the director came down, this lady, and Joan Craft, and so I was talking to her, chatting away to her. I have to stress that I'd had a few drams by this time.
Right.
Anyway, I turned round, and in my beer, at the bottom of the glass, was a top set and bottom set of false teeth. Recently been in use, because they still had wee bits of food coming off them. And in the top of the foam was a moth. And the moths out there are huge, they're like flying mice. And this filled up the whole of the glass. It was live, flapping in the
like a bat.
Yeah. And these guys are still drinking this beer again. Really? Really? So I took the moth out and I tapped it on the bar. Ding, 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 again. And I ate the moth. I crunched it down. And I drank the beer, and I could almost remember the feeling of these teeth hitting my teeth. And I drank my beer all the way down, and I scooshed it across the bar. And I thought, the first guy that turns around, I'm going to hit him, and then we'll see what happens after that, but it doesn't look good. Anyway, I switched the teeth along, and this guy turned around with no teeth in his head, and he said, "G'day." He said, "My name's Vic Yarker." And he was the wrangler. And we were bosom buddies for 6 months after. And I am about to become a colonel in the Royal Regiment of Scotland. Honorary colonel.
There is such a thing, is there?
Honorary colonel, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I assume you had to do some kind of assault course to earn this.
No, it was only lunch. His name was Victor McLaglen, and Victor McLaglen was John Ford's favourite actor, I think. He was in every John Ford film. He's purported to have said that acting is no job for a grown man. Prize fighting is a job for a grown man, because he was a fighter.
Yeah. Yes. What's your take on that? Would you disagree with him?
No, I'd agree completely. It's no job for a grown man.
Yeah, well, too late now, eh? You're not planning to reconsider then?
No, I'll
Okay.
leave it, yeah.